To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elster's Rifles Reloading. And once again, I'm Annealing. I'll have you guys join me. You know, I got an insane amount of videos on this. And there's really no point on rehashing back over all this, but I figured I'd have you guys join me while I anneal live. And if you want to get some more in-depth videos on how to anneal, just literally search on YouTube Elster's Annealing or EP Integrations Annealing. I'm just going to kind of fly right through this, but especially if you got any questions, jump in. I'll try my best to answer them. But I'm going to make this quick and simple. I'm going to anneal anyways. I figured I'd have you join me. And Michael Dunn is joining us. He's saying, hello, Todd, what's up? And yeah, let's just jump right into this. I've said this a billion times. I'm probably not going to go through it in great detail, but I use test brass, I use the glow method, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, just search YouTube for Elster's Annealing or EP Integrations Annealing for a more in-depth involvement on this. And I'm annealing the 6.5 Creedmoor that is done in this series, and that is, let me clip you out of here. And that is this series here, the new Krieger barrel on the old Gen 1 RPR with the Eric Cortuna brake. And we just went live twice today, and that was the start of the live reloading adventure here, and that was inspecting, decapping, wash. We just took it through the wash, we took it out of stainless steel media and separated it, and we dried it on the Cyclone case dryer, and we're up to the point of annealing, and then after this will be sizing and getting through brass prep hell. But let me get this out of the picture here. And like I said, if you got any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. And jump in the reloading room and say, hey, I'm new to annealing, or hey, I got the EP Integrations 2.0 annealer. That's what we're using tonight to anneal. Let's get going right into this. So, like I said, I use the glow method. I know a lot of you guys have already seen this, but like I said, I'm doing this. Might as well have you join me. So I'm gonna get this up to full max here. I usually will get this to full max, bring it all the way down to the point where it shuts off, and we'll bring it back up. I usually get my blowtorch, the inside hotter blue flame. I usually get that a little over an inch long, about an inch and an eighth, push an inch and a quarter. And I have what's called test brass here. I use this just to set up the location of the flame, the heat, and the timer. And usually what I'll do is I'll lower this down, purposely lower this down as damn near as slow as it goes. It gives me ample time to use my test brass to locate the torch head. So I just got to move this just a little bit so I got some room to anneal. So I'm going to put my first piece of test brass in here. And I'm going to get the tip of this hotter blue inner flame so it's just barely touching the brass but not touching. And right where the neck meets the shoulder. So I'm going to spin this somewhere right about there. And let me get my pan in here. So this is test brass. I don't care if it gets over annealed. It's been over annealed numerous times. So let me make sure that my flame location is good to go. Right where the neck meets the shoulder, and so the hotter blue inner flame is just barely touching the brass, and so it's located in the middle of the brass. That's it. It's really good. This is where I'm going to dim down the lights and do what's called the glow method. I'm going to get that brass to come out of the flame just as the neck and the shoulder just starts to glow. In order to do that, I got to shut off all the lights here. And I'm going to shut off this TV. You know, I got a little bit of light, especially coming from the super trickler here, but I'm grabbing another piece of test brass. I'm going to increase this up to about 28. And I'm going to clip you guys out of here. I'm going to get this to come out of the flame just as the neck and the start of the shoulder starts to glow. So let's do another one here. So the neck is starting to glow along with I'm going to lower this down just a smidge, down to 26, and this is test brass. This isn't my actual reloaded brass. I'm using this test brass to get this set up. So the neck starts to glow and drops out of the flame. You can see the flame just starts to change color. I'm going to kind of block this light coming off the super trickler. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do one more piece. I think I'm going to lower this down to about 25. Neck starts to glow and just drops out. I think I'm going to increase that back up to 26. So I have a glass pan here. I'm going to drop all this hot brass in a glass pan. Obviously I don't want to use a plastic pan. I don't want that plastic to melt. And this is where I'm getting my test brass out of the way. I'm grabbing my actual reloaded brass and I'm going to drop that first piece in. And this is my actual reloaded brass. So next, just starting to glow and drops out. Let me grab another piece. Otherwise, I think this is pretty good. Next, starting to glow and drops out. So I think that's good to go. I'm going to get the lights back on here. I'm looking at the anneal marks that are already on here. They're exactly about 1/4 of an inch down the body of the brass. That looks really good. And this is kind of where I just kind of give her hell. So let me get the TV back on. And that looks really, really good. Let me get all the lights back on here so we're playing this safe. Now this was freshly cleaned brass in a tumbler. And I'm going to back this up here so I can see your comments, and I'm just going to give her hell. So Michael Dunn's saying, if your test brass been annealed multiple times, is it still annealed the same way as you would be new? And I could really care less if my test brass has been over annealed a billion gajillion times. If it's been super glowing red hot or not, it doesn't really make a bit of difference to me. And I continue to use that test brass just to set up the location of the torch head and the amount of heat coming out of the torch head and the digital readout. The digital readout, like I said before in my previous anneal sessions, just gives me a reference if I need to adjust it up or down. That's literally all it is. Robert Powell is saying, hey Todd, that's exactly the way I set up mine, just like you explained, it works good. And we're going to count off this next piece here, just to give you an idea of how long this takes. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000. So a little over 6 seconds. So I've got 26 on my digital readout right now. So this shouldn't take too long to get through these roughly 50 pieces of brass here. When we get done, I'll take out about 3 miscellaneous pieces here. Matter of fact, I could probably do that right now. Just kind of show you how consistent these anneals are. These have definitely cooled down enough. And And yeah, this is kind of the KISS method of annealing. It's just keep it simple, stupid, in regards to how do you get this set up routinely. And if you do this right, once you've done it a few times, it really doesn't take that long to get this set up and rocking and rolling. And definitely makes a very consistent anneal. So Ultimate Krieger shooting, he said, is in the house, and same here. I get uniform reloading that way on the on neck tension. That's awesome. So I already pulled out 4 pieces here just to show you the nail on it, and to show you how consistent it is. And I'll show that to you once I get done with these pieces. Otherwise, I'm going to shut this down right after this and make this short and simple. Like I said, you can just search on YouTube Elfster's annealing or EP Integrations annealing. I got so many videos showing you how to anneal. I'm just not going to hash over all that right now. But if you want, you can use Templac. I just don't. Ultimate Krieger shooting saying, just did a load test on some rounds and still getting the same speed, 2750. That's awesome. Michael Dunn saying, would this batch of brass be 26 next time? Just curious if you record that display. No, I do not set my annealer by the display. The display just gives me a reference if I need to adjust it up or down. Next time I anneal this exact same brass, my flame might be a little bit longer, or maybe the flame might be a little bit closer, or might be a little bit further away from last time. I let the glow tell me what the speed needs to be. It will be close, don't get me wrong. It will be around that 26-ish range, as long as the length of the inner hot or blue flame is consistent from every time I anneal. But I don't write that down. I don't keep a log saying, hey, I'm doing 6x Krieger and I use 26 on the digital readout. I let the glow method tell me how soon that brass needs to come out of the flame, and literally that's it. But like I said, you can write it down, keep it as a reference. I don't have that many left here. And it'll be close around there, but the next time I reload, that flame might just be a smidge bit longer, might be a smidge bit shorter, but it's around that roughly 1.25 1/8 long hot or blue inner flame. And the glow tells me when it needs to come out of the flame, and literally the digital readout is just a reference if I need to adjust it up or down. And that's the key to getting consistent anneals, is you let the glow method or Templac or whatever method tell you when it needs to come out of the flame. And if you do this right with your test brass, like I got here, you should only take about 4 or 5 pieces, and that's it. So I'm almost done here. I only got about 4 more pieces. Like I said, when I get done here, I'm going to show you these 4 miscellaneous pieces I pulled out just to show you how consistent the anneal is. So otherwise, I'm going to shut this down about 2 pieces, and I'm going to see you guys in the next live reloading event, and that'll be literally sizing this annealed brass, which won't be tonight, most likely be sometime this week. And that's it. And that's why I don't think you need a hopper. If you need to pick up the brass, orientate the brass, put it in either a single feed fence or a hopper, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter, especially if you only load, 50 to 100 pieces at a time. My opinion is just not required. And that's it. So just to show you this quick, how consistent that anneal is, you can see that anneal mark comes down on the body of the brass roughly 1/4 inch, and it just super consistent anneals across the board. And just like that, we are done annealing. So Michael Dunn saying looks great. Ultimate Krieger shooting saying correct. And yeah, I'm doing this. Might as well have you guys join me live. And it's really that easy. And if you're interested in the EP 2.0 annealer that can adjust literally in seconds, all the way down to 17 Hornet, all the way up to 50 BMG. Whether it's got a rim or no rim, it doesn't matter. You can just adjust this interior shim plate, the brass stopper, and the fence in 30 seconds or less without having to add or remove any parts. And we have that on www.epintegrations.com, and you can make your purchase right there. Otherwise, I think I'm going to shut this down and make this one short and simple. I figured I'd have you guys join me. And once again, I'll see you guys in the next live reloading event.